There is not a chance I'm putting a suit on for the Carabao Cup final. Hello and welcome to part 180 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the first leg of our first knockout round game in the Champions League against Sevilla away from home. And then we are at Wembley for the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle. Since you were last with me, we did sign that youngster. Simon Ganley arrived for £3.5 million. He's immediately been loaned out to Wolves for the rest of the season because realistically he's not going to play for us anytime soon. He's roughly Jokic level, but he is a full-on English wonder kid. I still don't understand how he ended up in Hungary for as long as he did, but he's been loaned out to Wolves. He's playing every game for them. He scored a hat-trick for them in the FA Cup. So it seems we've got quite the player on our hands who will draft into our squad for next season. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever had such a weird situation where someone as good as he apparently is starts in the English non-league, which is rare enough, but then ends up in Hungary for no transfer fee. They must have just signed him out of their youth team, and for whatever reason, if we go on milestones, does it even explain how he got there? Just that he joined them. I don't understand. But I think we've got a bit of a bargain there, and a bargain is always good. This is the team we're putting out there for the first of today's two games away against Sevilla. In fact, Kev, you didn't show people how we've been getting on in the league. We've had a couple of little wobbles against Wolves, against Stoke. Wobbles. We did score 5 goals against Brighton, and we are still top of the league. If it loads up. There we go. We are still top of the league. All the games in hand are out of the way for now. There will be some more that emerge, I imagine, as we hit the Carabao Cup final. But we are 4 points clear at the top of the league. Absolutely dominant on goal difference. So fingers crossed, with 11 games to go, we should be looking good to retain our Premier League title, which is splendid. But of course, the priority is to win the Champions League. So this is the team we're putting out there. We've got Harry's in goal. A back four of Roberts, Ripert, Taraka and Coupler. In fact, I'm just going to adjust Taraka. I had May playing at centre-back in the last game. I always play May as a defensive centre-back. Taraka is a normal centre-back. I like to green them up. In midfield, I don't care about greening them up in midfield. So we've got Francisco Caminero and Barbas in midfield with Sir Enoch Nuhu in behind Alonso and Piazza. Both Alonso and Jones are recovering from injuries. It actually got to the point where I tried to recall the guy from Wolves, Ganley, is that his name? Because we were down to the bare bones of strikers when everyone started to get injured. Mustafa, Jones and Alonso all injured at the same time. We had to play Piazza and Jokic together. Hideous. But Jokic did score a pretty decent goal and has reminded me that he's actually also a young player who had lots of potential for a while. We kind of killed it by not playing him, but he has got something in him. And when he leaves, probably at the end of the season, now we've got the new boy in, he'll probably go on and do very well elsewhere. But Alonso is fit-ish, fit enough to play in this game. Away from home, we've never really had any luck in the Champions League. Certainly in away legs, certainly in knockout rounds. So our goal for this away leg against Sevilla is just to survive it, bring them back to our place, where hopefully Jones will be back. Alonso's going to be fully fit, and we'd stand a much better chance of taking care of him in the second leg. We've got to keep reminding ourselves, we can't win this tie today. Cliche bingo. We can't win this tie today, but we can lose it. So all that being said, we're still going over 4-3-1-2 and we're still going to control the game because that's all we know how to do. But in my head, I'm thinking, let's not get too carried away. Let's not go and lose 4-0 like we did back. Was it 4-0 or 5-0 back in the Europa League days when Tottenham just destroyed us in the first leg and we were done? I can't even remember how we got. Were we in the Champions League last year? We were, weren't we? How did we get knocked out of it last year? Probably a similar situation, and here we are again, 1-0 down after 6 minutes. My word. We have got to learn how to play in the Champions League, and by we have got to learn how to play in the Champions League, I kind of mean I've got to learn how to do a counter-attacking tactic for these away legs, because we seem to be able to get away with just being better than the opposition in the Premier League. That seems to get us through the group stages of the Champions League as well, but we're not yet better than everyone else in the Champions League, and I don't know if we're going to get better than everyone else in Europe quickly enough. We've got an equaliser. Who cares? We've got an away. Oh, has it been disallowed? Coupler was pushing. Coupler's the guy who put the cross in. How was he pushing another player? I don't understand. If anyone was pushing, it was Piazza, which I guess it was Coupler's goal ruled out because of Piazza's pushing. Maybe. I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to the point where we can just outplay everyone in Europe before we run out of time on this save. So we might actually have to tactic it. That'll be the plan for next year if this year doesn't work. A couple has had another shot and finally we do score. Is that one allowed? Got to be some suspicions of offside. Maybe not from Piazza, but Alonso with the initial rebound shot. Their keeper was going to feel very unlucky here. But Coupler, I don't know if he is shooting or if his crossing is just way off today. That's it's a left-footed in-swinger. Alonso, don't really know what he was up to at all there, but Piazza does tuck it away. And we are level 1-1. We have a very important away goal. And hopefully we can go on to dominate Sevilla and prove that we are better than everybody. And Kev can stop being negative, the big grumpy bear. Right, second half. We do need to keep an eye on Alonso. We've got Jokic on the bench. Obviously, I don't really want to have to bring him on. We could go to a 4-3-2-1. We've got Fernandez down there on the bench, so he could come on alongside Nuhu. I actually think we might be done with Fernandez. Similar to everyone else who's been in the Broken Leg Club, Jensen, Kerr, Fernandez looked superb when we first signed him. Broke his leg. He's been fit again for about 3 months at this point. He's down to the typical 2.5 star, had a broken leg player, and he just doesn't perform when we play him. So I don't get why broken legs seem so permanent in this save. I've not really noticed it in any other saves that I've played either. It just seems to be in this one. Broken legs are permanent. Let's Nuhu's not playing well though, so let's bring Fernandez on and we've got to give him the opportunity to prove that he's recovering. A little bit different to Jensen and Kerr, who we moved on very, very quickly. We never even let Kerr play another. Kerr broke his leg, and that was the last time he ever wore an Nuneaton shirt. Jensen, I think, got like 3 games before he was loaned out to Rangers for a year and a half. Fernandez does get the opportunity. He will be part of our squad for the rest of this season because we've sold Maestra in January. Esteban's injured at the moment. So Fernandez is our backup attacking midfielder. Nuhu can't play every single game in every single competition. So Fernandez is going to get the opportunity to play himself back into some form / ability. I don't get how it dropped down to 2.5 star. Who's judging that? I know who's judging it, but their judging can't be that off that they can't just recognise that the man's still not fully fit. I don't understand. Right, let's get Ryzen on, who of course had his couple of years playing in Spain, so should be well versed in beating Sevilla, playing for Barcelona in Spain for a couple of years. 2-1 on the away leg is by no means a disaster. The away goal is very important. It would be nice to grab an equaliser right at the end of the game here, but I can manage 2-1 down. Like I said, we've not got ourselves knocked out in the first leg. We've not lost the tie here, which is important. Although we are clobbering the opposition repeatedly, just trying to get the ball back. Fernandez does win the ball back. We've still got 3 minutes on the clock, so there is time to go and grab the equaliser. Piazza runs straight into one of their defenders. What is he playing at? We win the ball back in midfield again. Centurions winning the ball back a lot and then giving it away a lot. He's just like clobbering into tackles, but not actually getting the ball under control. But Jokic is there, hits the post. That was a big opportunity. We've still got 2 minutes left, though. Can we have another crack at it? Roberts, all the way across the coupler, down to Ryzen. Ryzen plays it into Piazza. That was beautiful. Is it onside? It's not. We've had 2 disallowed goals today. I don't think we're as far off the pace as maybe the scoreline suggests. We've been ahead for clear-cut chances. We've had 2 disallowed goals, and we're coming at them again, and now they're fouling Piazza with a minute to go. We don't have Nuhu on the pitch anymore, but we do have Fernandez to float it in towards not really anybody, but Roberts nods it into Caminero. There is still a little bit of time. Roberts, can he cross? No, he has a shot. Wrong decision. We had men queuing up in the middle to tuck that away, and I think that probably is it now, and we just need to finish the job in the second leg on tomorrow's episode. European football frustrates me. Let's go and win the Carabao Cup with our reserves. For those of you who may have been doubting just how excited I was getting about Piazza, James Ball. Now, we all trust the opinion of James Ball, our head of youth development. He's of the opinion that Piazza is a world-class player, rates him at 5-star current ability, and thinks he could still get better. I don't know how many stars James Ball thinks you're allowed to allocate, but he clearly thinks we have a world superstar on our hands in the shape of Piazza, and I have to agree with him. It's not a full-on reserve team, but we have made a number of changes for the Carabao Cup final just to get what has been our Carabao Cup team They're the ones who've got us here. They're the ones who deserve to play. So Oliveira comes in goal. Youngster Mark Ricketts comes in at right back. He's still only 17. Came for our own youth team. Apparently only 3-star potential ability now. But you know what? He's one of our own. We're going to keep giving him games. And he's played throughout the Carabao Cup run, as well as playing quite a few of the Champions League group games as well. The midfield is going to be Francisco Kovacic. Remember him? Yeah, he's still knocking around. He's 22 now. He's another one who never fulfilled his potential. 11th choice central midfielder, but has played in the entire Carabao Cup run. It's the only football he's played all season. He deserves to play in the final with Caminero with him in midfield. And then Nuhu in behind Piazza and Jokic, who again has played throughout this entire run. We do have the rest of the first team squad there sat on the bench, with the exception of some of the older guys, Harry's Day, Wanda, there's Barbas is cup tied, Esteban pretty much fit again, but no reason to risk him for this game. So yeah, we're going to try and win it with kids and reserves, and the likes of Kovacic and Jokic. They're never going to be regular first team players for. We've given up on them now, and they're probably both leaving in the summer, so it gives them the opportunity to leave with a medal and a day out at Wembley. Same could be said for Oliveira, although realistically Oliveira will be here forever because he just keeps signing new contracts as our backup keeper. He's clearly got no ambition, which is perfect because he's a Premier League quality goalkeeper who doesn't care that he's not playing football. Perfect for a backup goalkeeper. Caminero of a good challenge there. Caminero's lost his place in the team recently since the arrival of what's-his-face, the new boy whose name I'm terrible with footballers' names. You may have noticed this. But since the new fella came in for Man United, it's Caminero who's lost his place in the midfield. So he's going to want to put in a big performance today to prove that he deserves to be part of our midfield for the rest of the season. Newcastle have Jim McAllister in their team as well. Remember, Jim McAllister never lets us down, so hopefully he's got an own goal in him today, or maybe a red card. We know he likes getting himself sent off. And Piazza is captain for a domestic cup final. It's his first opportunity to lead a team to glory in a Wembley final. Jones is sat down there on the bench, but Piazza's 19. He plays every game. There's no reason to rest him at any point, and he's just going to score again. And there he did, 1-0 in the Carabao. Almost called it the FA Cup final. We're already knocked out of that this year. 1-0 up, half an hour into the Carabao Cup final, and it's a lovely finish from Piazza. And why couldn't he do that in the last game against Sevilla? Plays it out to Jokic, simple as they come. Jokic just low cross. Piazza's there to get on the end of it. If Piazza misses it, Nuhu's straight behind him as well. So one of them's finishing there. And we've talked a little bit over recent episodes about questioning whether Piazza is a big game player for us or not. Now, I know I've put the reserves out, so you could argue that takes a lot of the pressure on, takes a lot of the pressure off, and tells the team I don't consider this a big game. But surely in their minds, it's a Wembley Cup final. He's captain. This is probably the biggest game of his career, and he's playing well in it. Perhaps we're forcing him into becoming a big game player by piling so much pressure onto his perfectionist shoulders. I just hope I don't crush the poor boy. But Jokic makes it 2-0 as we head towards half-time. And hopefully we can just kind of flick autopilot on from here. I'd like to think there's no way back for Newcastle. Certainly if we can grab a third in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half, it will be all over. But I'd like to see Nuhu grab himself a goal in the final, because that's what Nuhu does. But, you know, any Wembley goal for Enoch Nuhu is fun. Piazza hits the post. He's having a good game today. Taraka now forward towards Francisco. Nuhu to Jokic. Piazza is lurking again. He is enjoying himself in this game. I might have to take him off. He's enjoying himself too much. But now we have to leave him on for the whole game. So, Jim McAllister. That man has got it in for me. He lured me into a false sense of security by 3 or 4 seasons of just being a solid first team player and never letting us down. But since that moment, he's just been a monster. Cost us the league. Admittedly, he then did help win us the league last season when he was playing for Newcastle. But cost us the league the year before. And now he's trying to knock us out of the Carabao Cup. Right, Caminero's picked up an injury. There's no reason to keep him on the pitch. We've got plenty of midfielders on the bench. Ryzen can come on and have this might be his first taste of Wembley, actually, because obviously it's his first season playing in England, unless there was a European final here or he's been here internationally. Give him a little taste of Wembley for half an hour. Can't be a bad thing. Nuhu not playing particularly well. I might do my 3 up front because we haven't got an attacking midfielder on the bench. Let's get Charlie Jones on and push him forward with these two. Just stick them all complete forward on attack. Let's cheat. Why not? We've got to try. We're in the last couple of weeks of FM18. If I don't get to cheat now, when will I ever get to cheat? 3 up front, complete forwards, all on attack. Kovacevic crosses to Taraka and it's straight at their keeper. We're being seriously overrunning midfielders because we basically don't have a midfield anymore. We're giving Jim McAllister space to play. Let's make a final substitution. Kovacevic can come off for Centurion. We're just going to shuffle things around a little bit in there. I think that probably makes more sense. Obviously, if it does end up going to extra time, I think we then get a 4th substitution. But really, I don't want that to happen. We're winning at the moment. We'll bring Alonso on in the 91st minute if they do equalise. I thought they had there. The backboard was flashing just as the ball's cleared, and I thought he'd lumped it into the top corner. I thought Ripert had crumbled under the pressure of a big game once again. Taraka clears. Because talking about Piazza, it's a big test for Ripert because Ripert always seems to bottle it when it counts. So if he can be part of a winning team in a cup final, that's going to be good for him. Jones is in and wraps things up. There you go. The club captain grabs a very important Wembley goal, and we should be about to see us all dancing with a trophy, which would be absolutely marvellous. It looked like their defender almost ducked out of that and then changed his mind at the last minute. Got no direction on it at all. And then we just cut through them beautifully. Jokic involved again. Jokic has had a really good game. I hope he finds a mid-table Premier League team where he should be able to just walk into that team and be a star for them. We've seen with Ganley, the guy who's gone off to Wolves on loan, who is equivalent sort of quality to Jokic currently. He's gone into Wolves and been a superstar. So hopefully Jokic gets the opportunity to do the same. There's no point loaning him out at this point. We'll just let him go for free when his contract expires. And wish him luck because he has had moments of awesome in his 5 or 6 years that he's been with us. But it's just not been enough, has it? Piazza tries the cross, can't get there. Ricketts into Centurion. Ruzic. Come on, let's have another goal for Jokic. It might be his last game for the club. Piazza plays it into Jones, but he can't quite get away from his man. And I think that is probably that. I doubt we're going to get much more in the way of highlight now. In fact, it looks like we're going to use this one to time down the clock. We've got about 5 seconds left. Francisco down to Centurion. Ruzic forward towards Piazza, and he doesn't even need to touch it. And we get the trophy. Hooray! I think this is the first Carabao Cup of Nuneaton's history, isn't it? There I am, look, dancing around with the lads on the stage, and Piazza, as captain, taking a trophy for the first of many, many times in that man's career. And one of my greatest regrets in the history of Football Manager is I won't still be managing him when he's 35, having won everything. We're going to say goodbye to him before he's like 22, regardless. And that's really sad. But we have won the Carabao Cup, so we've secured at least Europa League football for next season. Yay. Ripert is now happy to stay because we promised him we'd win a trophy, and we've managed to trick him into thinking winning the Carabao Cup was good enough. Dan Fisher's hailing a legend. Is he saying I'm a legend? I was already a legend, Dan. Thanks for noticing. I think Dan Fisher's a legend as well. Let's just have a little look. Yeah, me and Dan Fisher, true legends of Nuneaton. Let's just check. I think that was the first time we've won the Carabao Cup. It was the first time we've won the Carabao Cup. We're building quite a little trophy cabinet now. Do they not have the cabinet view that they used to have? In previous versions of Football Manager, you could look at an actual trophy cabinet, couldn't you? Or am I just making that up? But we've now won the Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, which apparently isn't as prestigious as the Championship, which we've also won. We just need to add a Champions League to that. We'll be fine retiring, having never won the Europa League, I think. Anyway, if you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.